Well, hello. I'm Rose Hunter, daughter of Walter Buck Leonard, Hall of Famer, and former resident of Rocky Mount, North Carolina. Buck passed away in 1997. We're here in his home that he lived from 1937 until he died in November of 1997. Well, now here on the table I have a box, and I'm going to open the box, and inside I'm seeing that there is a Negro League Legends baseball cards enclosed. So what we're going to do next is to look in the box and look at these cards, inspect them, and see if they're representing our Negro League in the way that Buck Leonard would want to see the league represented. But first of all, let me just introduce my son, Jonathon Hunter, who is our local Negro League baseball historian. And behind the camera is my son, Brian Hunter, who's our organizational program manager. So Jay and Brian are gonna open the box and we'll have a discussion about these cards. Okay, so checking out the first card, I see that this is, hey, the pick of the litter, Toni Stones. Okay, we know that she did play in the Negro League for a while. Is that right, Jonathan?
Yeah, she played in the Negro League. She played with the Indianapolis Clowns. They were a touring team. They toured around the United States, and she was a pioneer, one of the first black women to play in the Negro Leagues. And she had a lot of valor and a lot of perseverance, and that she stuck with baseball even against a lot of adversity.
Okay, I think it'd be important for our young girls who play in our baseball league to know about Toni. She replaced Hank Aaron. Did you know that? When he left and went with the Boston Braves. Great information. The picture is great. I've seen pictures of her before. It's vibrant, colorful, and I think a good representation of Toni. All right, so I'm sure she'd be pleased with that image of herself. All right, so the next card that I'm seeing, wow, Rue Foster. Now, we know that name because this is the 2020 is the 100th anniversary of Negro League Baseball, and he played an important part. Jonathan, tell us about that.
Yeah, Rue Foster is a gentleman that's from Calvert, Texas. He started out as a pitcher. He's a pioneer of black baseball. He's best remembered as a manager, and he came with a style of baseball that was very flashy, to hit and run, and he was a shrewd disciplinarian of men, and he's a pioneer. He's a great man that he started before the 1920s playing baseball, and he really started the Negro National League in 1920, February.
All right.
In Kansas City, Missouri.
Great information. That can be a very it can be a lesson in history unto itself, just talking about Rue Foster. And right. We also know that baseball did exist before that, but that was a very organized approach to teams playing in a league, right? Is that right?
Yeah, it was the first organized, you would say, league amongst the Negro Leagues. I mean, amongst African Americans, because before 1920, African Americans played against themselves and against white competition touring over the league, but they weren't actually organized until 1920.
Okay, so that's why they call him the father of Negro League baseball, right? Okay, great. Great way to be remembered. Okay, next here, coming out of the box is Leon Day. Now, I did have a chance to meet Leon Day and also his wife Geraldine, I believe. She lives in Baltimore until today. I've heard Buck talk about him many times, about a great baseball player that he was. So I believe he was a pitcher. Is that right, Jay?
Yeah, Leon Day was a man that was a great pitcher. He was short in stature, but he threw tremendously hard. And some people say they would rather hit against him than Satchel Paige, and he would beat Satchel Paige in a few games.
In a few games, I'm sure.
So
okay.
He was a really great pitcher.
All right. Good information about one Leon Day. Okay, here is, let's see, another picture here. Is one Bud Fowler, Negro League legend. So I'm not too familiar with him, but I know he was at early baseball. Is that right, Jonathan?
Yeah, Bud Fowler actually is the first black player to play professionally in the history of baseball. And we know about Jackie Robinson, and we learn a little bit more about Fleetwood Moses and his brother Wilberforce. But actually, Buck Fowler was the first one to play in 1872 in the International League against professional baseball players in the United States.
I'm sure there's a little known information that we're gonna bring that out into the open so everybody knows about this great man of baseball. All right, so next out of the box comes Frank Grant. Frank Grant, can you tell us about him?
Yeah, Frank Grant is known as, a lot of people say, one of the most outstanding players of the 19th century. And he played second base, and he was a great player, and he went into the Hall of Fame in 2006. And he played mainly up in New York in that area, and he was an outstanding base runner and all-around great player.
Okay, what's so good about these cards on the back who have information? As a matter of fact, his name was Ulysses Franklin Grant. Okay, so 1907 Philadelphia Giants. It's believed this was on the back of the card, plus some other information about stuff that was going on during that time, and a little bio about the player. And as with the other cards, you know, it's a great picture, colorful, and I'm sure it's a pretty good representation of this person who was a great tribute to the game. All right. Next out of the box, wow, this is somebody we know well, Buck Leonard. Okay, we're sitting here in Buck Leonard's home. He lived here from 1937 to 1997 when he passed away on Thanksgiving Day. And of course, we're using this home. It's on the local list of historic places, and it would be a wonderful resource for teaching about all these individuals who played in the Negro League. We look forward to having that added to our approach to teaching our children about the history as well as the community.
And yes, Buck Leonard would play with Josh Gibson. They were known as the Thunder Twins, and Buck Leonard was known for his batting prowess and also for his fielding prowess.
Okay, so now here is Josh Gibson, as a matter of fact, coming up next. There's Josh, and we all know Sean Gibson of the Josh Gibson Foundation, who's our partner. And as Jay said, they were known as the Thunder Twins. Buck had great affection for Josh. And I believe he told you what? Don't ever forget about Josh, is that right?
He said, yes ma'am, he said, never forget about Josh Gibson, because Josh Gibson was a tremendous batter. He's known to hit over 800 home runs. He was a tremendous hitter and tremendous catcher. Born in Buena Vista, Georgia, and he played for the Homestead Grays, and he was on the team with Buck Leonard when they won 9 straight championships between 1937 and 1945.
Okay, so great information, Jonathan. I think there's about over 100 cards in the series, and from what we can see here, it's a great product, would you say?
Yes, it is. A great product, very
Yeah.
colorful, a lot of good information on the back of the cards, and it'll be a great teaching idiom for school kids or anybody learn a little about the history of America through the eyes and through the experiences of the Negro Leaguers. From the Civil War to World War II to World War I and to the Civil Rights. You learn about Jim Crow, things of that nature through Negro League players.
And I think it's an opportune time right now during this period of social unrest where we need to bring into the forefront the contribution of Black people in America. And I think a great way to approach that is through sports.
That's right.
And since we have a baseball league, children are very interested in sports figures. They normally hear about Jackie Robinson, Sandra Page, and a few others, but we are seeing now that there were many who contributed to the game of baseball and who made the Negro League such a great entity, a great part of America.
Yeah, there were many Josh Gibsons and many Sandra Pages, but we are just now learning about the great contributions of players from the 19th century and the early 20th century.
Okay, so I think we have a great stage here. We have an organization that's named for Buck Leonard here in Rocky Mount. We have this home here that we stage exhibits from time to time. We bring the children in and they always want more. So now we have more to give them, don't we?
Sure do.
And to share with their parents. And we also have a exhibit at the Arts Center here in Rocky Mount. We can place some of these tools there as a teaching resource. And we can continue to promote what's in this great box. So it's a wonderful resource that we'll certainly use and employ